Autobiography of a Nothing Nobody. Uh, these Babe Bentley stories, I don't know if I mentioned yet, that's where they started, 2 or 3, 4 years ago. Seeing all the kids working their thumbs all the time and always got their face in their phones. And wasn't so much the phones back then as it was now, but the video games, spending all day long, And it made me think, well, I'd like to, get out these stories of my life. I led a very, very unique life. And a lot of the stories are from will show the uniqueness. And I decided then I'd call it Autobiography of Nothing Nobody, because, I'm a nothing nobody other than all the blessings. But so intermixed in it'll be a bunch of stories. It wouldn't be like a normal autobiography, born in 1939 in a lumber mill that's not there anymore. That'll come within the story. So you just put all the stories together, and you could piece a lifetime autobiography out of it. And they're all real life stories that actually happened, or visions which I actually had, or not so much dream. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "Your young men will dream, and your old men will see visions," or vice versa. I don't know where it went, but anyway, my father, he dreamed things way before they'd happened. Remember, it was back in the '60s, mid '60s, maybe towards the late '60s. I'm not sure. Anyway, he's living down in Encanto, and he came over one night and said, "I had a strange dream last night. I was at the store, and everybody was paying for their groceries with a little plastic card." This is 1965 or so. And within a year, I had another dream last night. I was sitting out on the front porch, and this car drove up, and man, it was really quiet. And the guy got out, and I said, "How come your car is so quiet?" And I don't remember exactly the answer the guy gave my dad, but it was something like, the car almost didn't even have an engine. It was an antenna thing sticking up, and I think he said, "My power comes through that." And so when I'm thinking about that and using my imagination, I'm thinking, well, somebody figured out a way to convert radio waves, antenna radio, into power. And but these electric cars of today, that's not it. This is something far more advanced than that. So it hasn't happened yet. And one of his most amazing ones, it took some 19, 20 years to develop it. He's a kid back in Arkansas, and his older brother, quite a bit older, is in Texas working in the oil fields. And so he's in Arkansas out in the backyard, and this weird flying thing landed, and his brother got out. And then moving forward to the bombing of Pearl Harbor, our family moved out to San Diego here. His asthma and his flat feet wouldn't let him in, so the people that could go to war went to war. The people that couldn't went to the war effort. A lot of my aunts and uncles, they went to the Grow Belt, which is like from Bakersfield all the way up to Fresno, and a lot of my aunts and uncles went there. But my dad, he was a real engineering type guy, so they sent him to San Diego Consolidated Aircraft. And so he's down there working, so this would be 1942, something like that. And he comes out of the, Conver, Plant 1, I don't even know if Plant 2 was there yet. And so he comes out of the hangar, out of his, Plant 1 or whatever, and he comes out and he goes around the corner and bam! There's that thing that, to the T, that dropped down and let his brother out. It was a helicopter. And they didn't invent helicopters until 1939. And as for me, mine are like visions. I get these visions, daydreams, trips, you call them what they are, but it's like a snapping of a finger, and I'll see a whole movie-like kind of thing. And so I decided I'd put these on the Babe Bentley stories, and just a lot of them I just before I, I put the title, and then work on some of the titles that I wrote down here. That some of them, let's see, the agitator, and I want to keep these short. So I think when I'm through with this, I'll stop it and then do the agitator one. Climax, save the family tree, fill the gap. My grandson really liked that. In fact, he took it to a church just the other day, and they read it before they went into their service. The rescue, you've seen that one already. The want to go up the guy in the boat going to get his wife and kids. You're unique. Oh, that's going to astound many of you. And the Great Wall of Marijuana, it's already on there. And this is actual vision, the beginning part of it. When the vote for the marijuana came on, I added out the stuff at the other end. And so, I scribble these out on paper, and then I two-finger type them out on my wife's computer, late at night, so I won't be bothering her or using up her time. And some of them that are still writing, they're in the scribble form, is the hidden moment. Oh, man. That started in 1959, 1960, something like that, from a finger painting from a little first grader or kindergarten. Oh, man, that goes right up to the day. Communication, that's another great one. The New World, it's kind of like Alfred Hitchcock. It's a story, and the story isn't what it's really about. It's kind of like Alfred Hitchcock. Well, you don't hear too much about what's the moral of the story. So it's a story, and then the moral of the story is, and that goes on, that kind of thing. The Voice, just right across. I'm at my mother-in-law's house. She's 93. I come up here every couple of weeks, and I sit with her over the weekend, and that's where I am right now. We're waiting here. We got to leave here in about half an hour to an hour and go to a kid's thing. We have a very big family, We just got scads of us, and there's parties. It's really, really good family life. The agitator will give you an idea of what somebody was ripped out of that lifestyle. Love to Play, or A Cold Day in Hell. And there's some really good songs that I won't say, and I don't want to give them away by the title. In fact, The New World is a great song that comes out of that. And I'm going to see some skits, because, we got to mix things up here and there. Yeah, there's going to be some good ones, laugh at my own stuff. Love or Cold Day in Hell. And I can't forget the rainbow thing. Oh, talk about unique. And there's a thing with a rainbow, you're just going to blow your mind. The Haunted Canyon. I'm up in the air about, that has to do with some drugs and things, but it's really an amazing story. And I can't leave out the rubbing elbows with the demons. There's a lot of that one on. And so that's what these things is going to be all about. It's going to be these big building stories, and kind of like mixed within it is the autobiography of a Nothing Nobody. And so I'm going to stop this one now, and I'm going to do that agitator, so it'll be a separate thing. Because the marijuana thing's like 19 minutes. The pomegranate, which, it's a great, as far as my, that's about 30 minutes long. But, you sit on, you watch TV for 30 minutes. Maybe you can take 30 minutes out of your day and watch that.